Hello, welcome to my Wednesday night chat. Let me set up my control room. Open my live chat window so that I can see everybody's comment. And here we go. Hello, it's Wednesday. Hope everybody have a good week so far. Been a crazy day for me as usual. You know, Wednesday is hump day and it's always somewhat crazy. Just had my late dinner, so this is my after dinner coffee, iced coffee. It's getting hot down here. We're barely into April and it's already getting uncomfortable in down here in Florida. It's gotta be like 80, mid 80s. Yes. Down here in Sarasota, Florida, we have two seasons, summer and fall. There's no spring, and certainly there is no winter. You know, this year has been a very warm year. I think I broke out my sweatshirts for like maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. Other than that, the AC had to run. Okay, let me send the invitation out to the few people. Let's see, invite people. Sushi X is here. Hello. Are you working tonight? Jay. There we go. Invite Jay. There's 2 people that wanted to participate in the live chat today, so I'm sending out 2 invitations. One is JayRox, and one is, of course, Cougarcomics, which we failed to connect twice already so far. So hopefully, 3rd time is the charm. So that's the 2 invitations. So hello, Sushi X. It is 4 o'clock California time. I'm guessing that you will be busy working in about 2 hours when the dinner crowd get there. I was glutton for punishment, so I did see BVS the 2nd time. Did I like it or dislike it more than the 1st time? No, but I'm glad I saw it the 2nd time, because there was just so much going on the 1st time that I just want to make sure that I saw everything and judge the movie better. And quite frankly, I don't think my view of the movie changed that much. I like Wonder Woman more. If anything that I like more in the movie, seeing it the 2nd time, is Wonder Woman. And so nothing changed as far as my rating for the movie. 30 minutes. Oh man, the dinner crowd is early for Sushi X. When we were in New York City, Sushi X, I took my wife and friends and family to a really good Korean restaurant. It was fantastic. It was not cheap. There was 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 6 of us. No, nine of us. And I think the bill was $250. Yeah, it was expensive Korean barbecue dinner. It was very good, but $250. It was not cheap. Ali Latham, hello. How are you? I'm waiting for Jay to log in because he wants to discuss the Flash cartoon that he mentioned last week, Paradox. I don't have my iPad here, but I did watch it, so hopefully I get a chance to discuss that DC cartoon with him. Oh, hey, I'm getting old. Is it Dan? Jesus, I think that's Dan. Confirm for me your name so I don't have to mispronounce your. It is Dan. Whew. I thought I have a senior moment there for a second. Oh, Sacking245 first chat live. Welcome. Welcome to my humble small chat. This is oh, Cougar is here. I don't know what to tell you, Cougar. Let's see. I sent with Google Plus. Say that you are in my circle, so I'm not sure why it is that you don't get it. You know, I don't know. For some people, this has happened to other people that I had problem with live chat before. For some reason, it does not work. For some reason, the invitation get lost. I don't know. You know, I sent 2 invitations so far, and if you are here on the live chat, then obviously you are watching it. And Cougar, go to the show on Sunday. What show are you talking about? Are we talking about the conventions? I'm guessing there must be a conventions nearby. Let's see. As far as this week, did I buy anything? I did get one more book for my top 10 most wanted book for 2016. So look like I will be loading that video tomorrow. I have been trying to do something that I'm not sure how long I can keep it up. Oh, Buffalo, New York, a cold place. For the past 2 weeks, I have load 1 video per day. I'm not sure how long I can keep up with the pace of doing 1 video per day, but we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. You know, I had so many videos. The reason why I started that was, you know, I binge shoot videos. Sometimes I can, depend on my schedules, I can shoot 3 videos per day for a week. So I would have like 20 videos. And in the past, I only load like 3 videos per week, and then they set there. Sometimes there's video that's set there for 3-6 months. And then eventually I just like, forget it. The topic is outdated. I'm not gonna load it anymore. And then I wasted a lot of efforts shooting videos because I dumped a lot of videos. Like I made a video, you know, say I think at least 6 months ago, talking about how people should speculate on New Mutants 100, the first appearance of X-Force, because I think if the Deadpool movie is a success, that book will go higher. 6 months ago, at least, months before the movie came out. And then of course, when the movie came out and everybody talked about that book, I said, might as well forget it. Why bother load something as if it's news anymore? Cougar is here. Hello. I can't hear you. There's no vocal. There's no sound.
There we
Hello?
go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We have Cougar. He made it.
Huh?
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Oh, I saw the picture of your kitty cat when he was a little kitten.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yes, just saw Batman v Superman. Ollie, so what do you think? What do you think of that movie? I give the movie a 7, which is fairly generous based on many people' opinion, but I will stick to it. I saw it twice now, and I will stick with my rating. I posted my first video last week, kind of shaky. Dan, oh, I see Cougar face to face.
It's about time, huh?
Yeah, about time. I would definitely check out your channel, Dan. Now that you post your first video, I would definitely want to check out your channel. Welcome to the community if you start to make videos. Oh, I love that shelf back there, Cougar. Oh, I want that shelf. I would have to order one for myself to hold about 3,000 books.
Yeah, a little too big.
Now, how many books do you have in those shelves?
You know, I'm planning on counting them now that I have them in there finally.
Yeah.
Probably about 15 long boxes, maybe.
15 long boxes. Oh, so that's more than 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh, so yes, if you can build something like that, shipped to me, it would fit my collection very well.
Hey, I'll come down and I'll build you one, and you can take me to CBCS.
Tell you what, if you come down, I will pay for your plane ticket, and that will be your reward for your hard labor.
You know how long it took me to build this thing?
A lot longer than the plane ticket cost.
Yeah.
I'm not
surprised.
I'm not
It took me
surprised.
like 4 months of Sundays, I think.
That look, it's not like one of those, one of the favorite shows that I watched when I was younger on PBS is those guys that do those woodwork, right? Mm-hmm. I love that show. I mean, I have no skills. I mean, I can barely hammer something without slamming my fingers, I can't do that kind of stuff. But I love that show. I watched them carve up tables and whatever. But that was one of my favorite things on PBS was that show, as well as the guy that paint.
Oh, the guy that passed away?
Yeah. But PBS was a lot of fun for us old guys who had 4 channels for decades, right? We didn't have the cable stuff. We got 4 channels, and either you watch the garbage on ABC or CBS, or you watch PBS.
Even when there was 4 channels, we still complained there was nothing on it.
Yeah. So what's new, Cougar? What hot book are you chasing after? Are you still chasing after a F51?
Yeah, haven't found that one anywhere. There was one, a raw one on eBay I was looking at. He graded it at 8.0, and it looked like an 8.0, and he had a decent price on it, and I just kind of passed on it. I wasn't 100% on it, so. I
saw an 8.5 copy.
What's that?
I saw a CGC 8.5 copy recently. Oh. It might meet your criteria. It was well centered, and the staple was not indent in.
That's a biggie.
It's an 8.5. It's not on eBay. It's at a dealer. I thought the price was kind of
Let me guess. I'd say probably about 350, 400.
It was under 300, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So the only thing that didn't look appealing to me was how that book sometimes can be very brownish.
Mm-hmm.
It looked kind of toasty, So it looked like a weak 8.5.
Yeah, those tend to stain a lot or get almost dust shadowy along the edges on them real easy.
Yeah, this one have a dust shadow, I believe, on the right side. That's why I didn't, when I saw it, I'm just like, this might not meet the Cougar criteria. The price might be reasonable, but the appearances, the yellowing, the sun shadow on the right side, tanning, and of course, there is no back cover scan. So
yeah, that's a no-go for me. If I can't see the back, I don't bother. Where was it, like Comic Link or something?
And the scan was pretty poor as far as the front cover. It's one of those scan where it's one of those like dealers that have a tiny pictures, and you can't blow it up, and you can from what I can tell, I'm like it's not worth the hassle. But it's not an easy book to find. I am missing that copy myself.
Yeah. I have one, but it's about a 4.0. I've had that one for years, and I was just buying anything I could get, when I was younger. And so that's on my upgrade list. It's been on there for quite a while, actually.
Yeah, I had a low-grade copy, like a 4.0-ish, and I sold it for like $15 or something, or $10 or something cheap. I mean, I used to have a pretty good run of FF in low grades. And back when I was a high grade nutcase, you know, I mean, I had a lot. At one point I had almost a full Spider-Man low grade run, a full FF low grade run, and I sold both run and to replace them with slab, of course. Well, I replaced my Spider-Man with slabs, and then I was gonna do that for the FF, but then I got an epiphany where I don't want to buy slabs anymore, so I sold all the Spider-Man. So I left with nothing. So after I sold most of my Spider-Man slabs, I'm just like, why did you just do that? You spent so much time upgrading, and I'm like, and then the past 3 years, I have been slowly rebuilding my Spider-Man Silver Age. This time in mid grades or low grade.
Yeah, I saw your video of the stuff you just picked up. The Spider-Man's, what was it, 9, 10, and 11, or 8, 9, 10?
Yeah.
Or no, 9, 10, and 13.
Yeah, 9, 10, 13, and before that, I bought 14 and 15 from the same seller, King Cobra Joe. He's right down here in Florida too, and he had a complete run from 2 to 102, I think. Maybe it go to 129. I don't remember. I just know that it was fairly complete with many high grade books. You know, I just. So far, I bought, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I bought 5, and I'm thinking about buying 4 or 5 more. But that's about it. I already blow so much money. I didn't plan to buy those books. You know, that was not on my anywhere near my wish list of things to buy this year. But when
that's a collector over on this shoulder saying buy it, and the other guy over here is going, I don't know, and this guy wins out.
Yeah, the same side is saying you don't need anymore.
Yeah.
And the devil side say, since when are you passing up a chance to buy, you know, so I'm like, okay. So I bought them, and I'm glad. I don't have many of those books anyway. So might as well buy them now, because if I don't, within the next 5 years, I will have to buy them.
Yeah. You know, those books, I need 9, I need 13, 14. I don't have anything below 9. But in the grade I'm looking for, I don't think I'm ever going to get them, because I know I won't be happy with them in lower grade. I've done that before. Kind of settled on a book and wasn't happy with it.
You want 8.5?
Yeah, well, in those, I'd probably go 7.5 and up, depending how it looks, you know.
Yeah, that was
that
was what I was doing. I was when I had my Spider-Man run, what I wanted to do was having 7.0 from 1 to 10, right? That was my desire. Sure, some was 7.5, some was 8, but that was, you know, basically I wanted, you know, like from 1 to 14, I wanted 7.0 or higher. And then from 15 to like 50, I want 8.0 or higher. You know, so I kind of stagger, and you know, in many ways, I'm just like, I don't miss selling those, you know, but it was crazy. When I sell them, it was insane. You know, I sold them all to one guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to one person. I boxed up. It was let's see, it was roughly like 90 slabs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. You know, it was one of those crazy deal that I wouldn't do it again. You know, it was too much work to pack 90 slabs. Trust me, too much work. So you and Dan live near each other then? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he is. Me and him have talked a little bit, but I just we messaged back and forth a little bit. Yes, I was there the other day.
Yeah. So yes, Dan. When I saw that, you know, it was an insane deal, and in many ways, the buy was not all that easy to work with either. You know, it was one of those deal where, you know, I know the buyer enough that I set the slab without the money. And then, of course, a week later, when the money didn't arrive, I was kind of a little freaked out a little bit. it turns out his banks has some issue of him writing a check for that big of amount, even though he has the money to cover. But you know, there was some kind of red tape that he had to sign, whatever it is, but still, I was slightly annoyed that you know, I had to wait probably like about a week before I get my money when he got my books already in his hand.
They want to make sure he wasn't getting blackmailed or something.
They want to make sure that it was not illegal withdrawal for drug money or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I saw you the other day, Sunday. You were the star of the show.
Oh, me and Comic Book Fanatics.
Yeah.
It was fun. You know, I chat with Marty privately, and he encouraged me to. Well, he invited me to be a guest on his show because he felt that some people would have some question regarding slabbing and grading and all that stuff.
Yeah, they had a couple, huh?
Yeah, and then it was fun. You know, it's fun. But you know, I told him that, you know, going forward, I probably will watch the chat and then participate in the message board like this in the discussion on the side and not be a guest because you know, those guys have so many topics to talk about. You know, they don't need me to dominate for an hour talking about grading and all that stuff. But if other people have questions about grading or slabbing or submitting, then I can answer the question on the side, you know. So I might do that more often in the future. But if you want me to appear live again, I will do that, you know.
That was good. You had a lot of really good information on there. I watch the show the same all the time too, and I just comment on the sides. Gene Paul Ace Peter asked me to come on probably about a month or so ago, but you know what? Everything they talk about on there, the current stuff, and I really don't know a lot of that. And,
yeah, that's the thing.
I don't really want to take a space. I'd rather have somebody else go in there that's, you know, collecting modern books and can put a little more into the conversation than I could.
Absolutely. You know, because they have a good rapport between the 7 or 8 or 9 people that appear regularly and talk about, you know, modern books, speculation books, all that stuff. So, which is great. I listen to the show every week. So I told him, you know, maybe once a month, you know, I might pop in for like an hour to talk about grading and stuff like that. But I definitely don't want to take up the spot of people because I have nothing to contribute as far as TV show, hot books, new books, and all that stuff. I have nothing to contribute. AG Surfer is here. Thank you, AG.
Hey.
Yes, Cougar, this is the first time we finally hook up. It took us 3 tries to try and get the things working. But the first time,
I'll take the blame on that. It was probably me.
Well, you know, the first time was my problem because that first week I was stuck at the airport. I was supposed to be home like at least 2 hours before the chat, but then I got stuck at the airport flying back from New York because there was foggy down here. The plane could not land, and I spent 5 hours at the airport because I had to land at a different airport, wait for the fog to clear up, and then after 3 hours they decided the fog's not going to clear up, so I actually took a taxi a long ride back home because I'm just like, I'm not going to wait. It's been such a long trip. I just want to be home, you know. So that's why that chat took place at like 11 p.m. instead of 7.
Yeah. I was waiting on you for that one, and things happen, right?
Yeah. Comics Quest. Hello, Comic Quest. You know, but other than that, let's see, what else did I buy this week? I did not buy a heck of a lot of anything. You know, I come and, you know, my buying come in spur. I wish I had something to show, you know.
I picked up 1 or 2 things this week at the show I was at. Nothing major, but be right back.
Yep. Yes. That cabinets back there, I love to have, you know, I wish I was handy enough to make myself a cabinet shelf like that. That is so awesome. I would be loving it. That is kudos for Cougar to build that rack. It's an envy of the entire comic book community.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of comments on it. I get more comments on that really than I do on just about anything except for my first video. You know, the attic find one. I still got comments on that one, but I get more questions on this and everything. And that, I just saw a guy that did that himself, you know, so I just kind of made it my own thing. He built his into his wall. Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
Chris Faulkner, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a couple years ago, right? His video is like, is a beautiful one too. I mean, like I said, it's I have zero tool. Forget about the skills. I don't even have the tool. You know, I have I have a screwdriver and a hammer and a few things, but saw and all that stuff, I'd be like, I have none of that stuff. You know, but yeah, I mean, if it's too bad IKEA doesn't build some kind of snap thing together, you know.
I bought 3 books the other day. Spider-Man 345 Rocks. I had one. See, it's up there. I got one slab that I just bought because I thought it might be a good investment. And I saw it real cheap on eBay. And what the heck else did I buy? Well, I got this one. This was the big one.
Oh, Avengers Red Guardian. I like that book. I like the cover. I have a copy myself, but mine is like about a 7.0. Was that a slab that you crack out?
How do you do that?
Did you crack the slab out? Was it like a 8.5-ish? I'm guessing.
Well, this was raw.
Oh, you bought it raw. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it to show the other day. I saw it like half a year ago. The guy had it, and I hummed and hawed about it. Okay. And it's funny, you know, I saw it this time, and I think, well, it looks a lot better than, you know, the last time I saw it. So supposedly it came from a one-owner collection.
I had to sit up for a second there. It was my son. He was knocking on the door. It's just here to tell me something. No big deal.
Hi, Anthony.
Yes, Anthony. His birthday is in. His birthday party is in 4 weeks.
Well, he saw that I thanked him for picking my name out of your one contest, right?
Yes, he did. He did. He's yet to be. He's yet to care about comic books. So who knows? Who knows if he ever will pick up the love for comic books? I don't know. You know, we'll see.
You
know what?
You know.
He's seen me enough with my videos and my comic books, you know, so he know I love comic books, but for him it's like not interest.
my son did it for a little while, a couple of years. He used to go to the shows with me and stuff, but then he got to be about 12 or so and couldn't care less. He still loves the movies and all that kind of stuff. We go to the movies together. He's in his 20s now, but he's still interested in what I do, but he doesn't really care about it. He likes the characters and he loves the movies and all that stuff. But as far as collecting, he's got other stuff to do, you know.
Yeah, this generation is it's not that my son is not into collecting, you know, because he actually collect football cards, you know, basketball cards, you know. He's in the past year or so he get very interested in sports. So he would buy, you know, football cards and basketball cards and you know, things like that, and collect them and trying to get all his favorite players and all that stuff. So he does have the collecting genes. It's just that, you know, outside of Pokemon card or football card or basketball card, comic books just doesn't seem all that interesting. Even though he liked the superheroes, you know, it's not about not liking superhero. It's just not you know, not his thing. And Dan said the same thing. He said his 10-year-old son doesn't get into them either, you know. But he will read. The one title that I buy for him once in a while is Plants vs. Zombies comic books. He played the game.
Don't take him to the Deadpool
movie. No, we're not gonna do that. My wife and I saw the movie and we liked it, but we're definitely not taking him there. But sadly, when we were at the movie theater, we saw a lot of young kids there.
Oh, I did too. I was there. Some guy must have had 2 daughters with him. They were probably like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I see a lot of that stuff. I mean, the parenting thing now, I've seen a lot of that. You know, I mean, I mentioned this. You even 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when my son was only 6 years old, he had his best friend at the time. His parents was allowing his best friend, 6 years old at the time, to watch The Walking Dead. And I'm just like, what kind of parents thinks seeing people smashing other people's brain in is okay?
Oh yeah, they're too young. They can't disassociate the reality from.
I mean, listen to that kid talk about brain smashing zombie, and I'm just like, you're gonna grow up. Yeah, you're gonna grow up to be a killer. You know, you think it's like normal and cool to see brain splatter. I'm just like that.
Yeah. They really get desensitized to it. It's really.
Yeah. So needless to say, he's not my son's best friend anymore.
Yeah, really.
After that, I'm just like, we are not having play date with that psycho killer. You know, that future psycho killer is not allowed in this house anymore. But you know, outside Avengers and Fantastic Four, are you trying to complete any other run? I'm sure Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Journey into Mystery, Battle of Suspense.
How about X-Men?
Avengers.
No X-Men? You're not into
you know, I have a lot of them. When I first got back into collecting in like 2002, they were like the hot thing then.
Yeah.
And so I started picking those up, and I got the run. Well, I had X-Men, Giant Size X-Men 1. So I eventually picked it up from 94 all the way to about 150 years. So
okay.
Those are great issues.
It is. Ollie asked, do you watch and read The Walking Dead? I do not read The Walking Dead. I did own a Walking Dead #1 once. It's gone now. But I do watch the TV show. I'm okay with the TV show. I'm not one of those Walking Dead fanatics that I have to watch it on Sunday night. I DVR it and I watch it the next day and skip all the commercial. I don't need to watch the commercial. I don't need to know right away what happened. The season finale last Sunday was very interesting. I must say.
That was almost disturbing to me. I don't know. I love the show. My son got me into it a couple years ago, so we watch it every Sunday. And while you were on the YouTubes,
yeah,
I was watching that, catching up on the week before because I missed it, and I knew the finale was coming, so I had to be up on things. And it was different, not at all what I expected. And I don't read the books, so I have no knowledge of what's going on in any of the characters and all that stuff. So it's all new to me. So just like the Deadpool thing, I don't know the character at all. And all that was new to me. So it's interesting just getting that point of view on it, but that's all I know about it. But I really like the Walking Dead's real good.
Yeah, it's a very good TV show. A very well done TV show. Negan is gonna be interesting for sure. I like that actor. You know, the actor that they brought in to play Negan. Yeah. I liked him. Funny thing was, the very first time I saw him was in Watchmen, the movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for him in that movie. I was like, who is this guy, But then all the other roles that he done since that man, Watchmen, I kind of like. So I kind of dig that actor, and he's one of those guys that can play both good guys and bad guys. So some actor can't play bad guys.
Yeah. What was he in Watchmen?
The guy with the cigar and
oh, okay. The comedian or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just said the guy with the cigar and the black thing on his eyes.
Yeah, and I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, that's him. That's one of his earliest. I think that's one of his earliest movie role.
Yeah.
Yes, comedian. That's why Ollie confirmed that he was a comedian in The Watchmen. Yes, he was. Now, do you watch the show Fear of the Walking Dead?
I watched the first season, about 3 or 4 of them, and then I kind of lost track of it.
It's actually, I like it. I like it because it's for me. I like Walking Dead, but it's not about it's more about the character, right? Because you know the zombie is you kind of like it's just a side show as far as the zombie is concerned. It's more about the conflict between other survivors, right? That's what the show is about.
Yeah.
And Fear the Walking Dead, I kind of like it because it kind of give you a little twist where it's like the beginning, so people don't know what the hell is going on, and there's still a lot of human left. So I mean, when I heard the concept of Fear the Walking Dead, I'm just like, oh my god, they're gonna milk this cow until it come home and boil us to death. But then when I watched the 5 episodes they have, I thought it was decent. And I think the next season start next week.
Yeah, the first one really it caught my attention the way they started out with the kid and the he's all on heroin or wherever he was on, and the way they did that I kind of liked it. It caught my interest. And I think what happened was it got kind of nice out in the spring.
Yeah.
And that was it for me as far as TV. There's very few things I watch. Shield I like that a lot.
Okay.
Shield.
Do you watch any of Do you watch any of the other superhero TV show like Flash?
No, I wish I watched Gotham. That looks really cool. Everything I see on that looks cool, but I got behind on it. I watched like a couple episodes and then just if I haven't seen them in order, I don't want to watch them.
Okay.
And I just never got caught up on it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had to say that Gotham. Gotham first season was okay. Okay, a lot of people hate it. I thought it was okay. The first 4 or 5 episodes of the second season, this season was terrible in my opinion. But then it improved. I thought the last 4 or 5 show has been really good. So I actually enjoy Gotham again. I like it. I think it's fresh. Flash. I like Flash, but it's getting the problem with all the superhero TV show. Okay, is that every week is a C-list villain showing up. And it get really boring when they keep throwing the trash. To me, I'd rather have a decent villain that can go. That's what makes the show like Daredevil good. Is that they give you one major storyline and carry 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch the show like Supergirl or Flash or Arrow, I mean, come on. I can't deal with seeing 15, 20 villains thrown into a season. It's just getting ridiculous. It's just like, they all come and go. And then it's just, after 2 seasons, you saw like 25 C-lister and you just like, get rid of all of them. Give me one good villain that can last a whole season, But that's the problem with a lot of the TV show is I think because of the format of like they must have like beginning and conclusion by the end of the 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I hate that format. That's why I like the Netflix format where you can carry the story for 13 hours. It make better storytelling. You just can't squeeze in the whole storyline in 40 minutes. I mean, that's why I think many of the Silver Age books, I always find disappointing the last 4 pages. It start out great, right? The first 4 or 5 pages start out great, and then the next 5 pages is good action, and then the last 3 pages is just like a nice hurry up, wrapped up.
Yeah. A lot of more like that, especially the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, and that's you can draw analogy of what's going on with the Fantastic Four back in the 60s as far as like one-shot story and many of the TV shows today. It's just like you just can't span the first 20 minutes of the show building up to the story of what's going on and then trying to wrap it all up in the next 20 minutes. It just doesn't work for me, So maybe I'm the minority because I know a lot of people love those TV shows.
Yeah. Well, I tell my wife that Walking Dead rather, is a soap opera with zombies. It's all about the people, the relationships, and who's going to survive, and all that. But it's with zombies. But it is you have to get involved in the characters. You have to pick somebody you like, somebody you don't like. I don't want this guy to get killed. You get involved in the story and you get swept up in it. And just like a good comic book, you get swept up in it. You like the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You relate to them somehow, and that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's where DC misses on their movies. I've gone to see all of I'm not a DC guy, but I go to see all the movies because I love that kind of stuff. And like the Green Lantern, it was good, but it just missed. There was something missing. It's just like the Fantastic Four movie. It was okay, but something missing.
Yeah, Comic Crack. Hello, Terrence. He's here. Daredevil is tied for my favorite comic character. He's up there. It's hard for me. The older I got, the tougher it is for me to say this is my favorite. Like when I was in my teens, it was easy to say Wolverine. In the 80s, Wolverine was my favorite. But now as I get older and older, I'm just like, well, he was cool for a while, and then Punisher was cool for a while, and then Batman was really cool for a long while for me. I go back and forth. So now I have like maybe the top 10 characters I like, but I can't pick. It's between Batman, Daredevil, Wolverine, for sure. I would have to put those three as my favorite 3 characters. I can't rank them like my favorite, but my top 3 is those 3 right there.
Mine was Gwen Stacy, and the son of a bitch has killed her off. So.
Oh, Gwen Stacy! Did you see the picture I have with Gwen Stacy?
No.
Oh, I bought a sketch from John Romita.
Oh,
let me show it to you.
All right, now I'll come down. Oh, you're gonna kill me with this,
There you go. That's my headshot of my Gwen Stacy.
Oh.
I got this 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fairly new. I did a short, very short showing of this beautiful sketch. I got that.
Did you do a video on it?
Hmm?
Did you do a video of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. I'll have to go back and find it.
Yeah.
He was by far my favorite artist.
He's up there. He's in my top 10. It's hard for me to pick, my favorite, but when it comes to Spider-Man, I would say he's my favorite. A lot of people pick Ditko, but for me, if I had to pick my favorite Spider-Man artist, I go with Romita. I
think it's who you start with. I think when you start collecting, if it's Mark Bagley or if it's McFarlane, that's what you see as Spider-Man. Even Ross Andrew. I couldn't stand Ross Andrew on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A lot of guys loved him because when they started collecting, he was the artist, and that's what they saw Spider-Man as.
Yeah.
I started with Romita. Maybe that's why, because I started like around issue 53 or so. And but I loved all his stuff, all of the covers that he did. I loved his work on Captain America. I don't know, just something about his style that I just love.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out when it's not the camera isn't switching to see you, Nick. We just keep seeing Cougar, even when you.
Sorry. Here.
There you go.
Better?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't mind sharing the screen time with Cougar. I don't need to hog the camera. I hog the camera enough. For me, I would say that that's not the case for me because surely, I started to collect in 1981, right? So I missed that whole John Romita stage. It's just that for me, for different artists, for different characters, some artists speak to me as far as what I like. Like, for example, John Buscema. A lot of people love John Buscema in like Conan and stuff, right? But for me, he is the Avengers. Yeah. When we talk about the Avengers, I'm like, it's John Buscema, not Jack Kirby, so for me, it's John Buscema, Avengers, Romita, Spider-Man, Kirby, FF, Ditko, Doctor Strange. So there's for every character, I have an artist that I like their style that fit for my visual look.
Have you ever read the interview? There was an interview, I can't remember where I found it, but it was with John Buscema, and he was talking about, it was like a question and answer. It might have been Roy Thomas, I think, might have been talking to him. So it was probably an alter ego. and they were asking about all the different books that he had done and stuff, and he really didn't like doing superhero stuff.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at that.
Yeah, I read that. That's why in his later career he avoid drawing superheroes. You know, because of people asking to see the Gwen. Look at.
Oh, they can't see it. It's real small. That's why I can't see it that good either.
So now can you see it?
Sorry, everybody.
Can you see the beautiful, sexy, gorgeous Gwen? Look at that. That's classic. That's the classic romance drawing of Mr. Romita. So yeah, I wanted an art piece from Romita for a long time, but his original art are insanely expensive. So I settled for a sketch, a headshot of Gwen Stacy for a mere few $100s.
Oh, you had to do that yourself?
No, somebody actually, John Romita must have made a bunch of these things because he made it through a company. Oh. Behind the drawing is like this COA authenticity thingy. You know, I can show you again. See.
There you go. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's some company out of New Jersey. So who knows how many of these headshots he did and for how many other characters, but
I can see it now.
It's cheap enough for me to own.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an art collector or anything, but something like that I would love to have.
Yeah, I love the one of the few, I'm sure when you were younger back in the 80s, when you go to conventions, you see tons of original art for sale for real cheap, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because I remember passing on them left and right. I'd be like, oh, why would I buy the Jack Kirby FF piece for $60? Who cares about that?
Yeah.
now it's
funny, right? Yeah. Oh my God.
It's instead of 60 now it's 16,000. So yes, I was able to get that piece. I've been looking for a John Romita original art, but the original art I want from John Romita, of course, is Spider-Man, right? And those things go for crazy money. Like even like a one-page non-action is like $8,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why is or 3,000? I think the cheapest one I saw was like maybe 4,000, 3,500.
And the whole page, an original page.
Yeah, the whole page, and I think it's one of those pages where there was just Peter Parker and Aunt May. There was not even like an actions page with Spider-Man swinging or anything like that. So, if you're looking at a page where Spider-Man is fighting the Kingpin or something, then you'd be paying like 10,000, 12,000. So when that thing was available for a couple $100, I'm like, sweet. Yeah. So so I got a lot of original arts. I think I probably spent more. I wouldn't say more. I did definitely buy more original arts in the past 5 years. Just because they take up less room.
You got to build one of these.
Yes. Other people. Oh, there you go. That's what the people want to see. The peeps want to see the shelf. They don't care about seeing me. They want to see the shelf behind you. I'm telling you, Cougar, start to figure out how to make those things in mass production.
Well, the one thing I did wrong is I made it too freaking big. It's one whole piece, and I'm in a bedroom right now that's a pretty good size, and I've got one grandchild, one on the way.
Yeah.
And this is going to be their little playroom. So I'm going to have to move this into a smaller bedroom. I'm going to have to take the whole thing apart.
Oh, you need to make module.
I know. Well,
there was a question. Yeah, there was a question earlier from Dan about your draw. He asked like, how did the bottom? Is it digging into the floor?
No, I built it up like an inch above the floor. So
okay.
It's kind of a thick carpet, and it'll look. Well, here. See what I can do. You can see the bottom.
Ah.
So it's hitting the carpet a teensy bit, but I built it up an inch. So that still slides out okay.
Wow. Nice. Man. I need to get me some of those.
Hey, look, a detective comic book. One drawer of them, that's it.
I'm telling you. Oh, man. That's sweet looking. I can use that. I bet you everybody that's watching this video is saying, I can use that. That would hold my 3,000 books.
Hey, next week we can just hook up and I'll get out of the way and you can just show the cabinet.
Exactly. Next week, you know, you can just talk on the side and we just gaze in, we just admire the cabinet and figured out a way to build one ourselves. Well, your video of showing how to do it was very good. Trust me, for anyone that is handy, should be able to build something like that watching your tutorial.
You know, if you have the tools, you can do it. And if you have the patience. I mean, you just got to kind of think it through. And what I did was I think I showed it in the video, but I built one little section.
Yeah.
And built the drawers and put the drawers in it just to make sure it was working, because you can't think of everything. And I'm thinking, if I start building all this and something's way off and the drawers don't pull out right or something, you know, I'm going to scrap the whole thing. So I built one little section and it worked. So then I just kept right on going. And,
yeah, if I was going to build something like that, I build it right into my closet.
I got it out of my closet. That's why I built this.
You know, I have a closet in my office here that have a big glass sliding door. So it's a big closet. It's the whole side of my wall. You know, so it's about the closet is probably 8 feet long. You know, yeah, about 8 feet long, and 2 feet deep. Like no, well, it's 2 feet deep because it's not as deep as a long box. Like when I put my long box in there, I gotta put it sideways.
Oh, okay.
But I can fit, you know, easily over more than 2 long box along. But yeah, that's where I keep, you know, my 3,000 books. I have some on the shelf as well.
This is 2 feet deep.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's why, you know, it would fit in my closet really nicely. I just had to watch your video one of these days and man up and trying to build one myself.
You know, I get a lot of people say they were going to build it, and I told everybody, hey, if you get started on it, you got any questions, or you get stuck or something, you need help, you know, give me a shout. I bet you I've had 30 people say they're going to build it, and I haven't heard from anybody. It's a big project, though. You know, it's time consuming, and I took my time doing it. You know, when I got tired of it, I walked away from it for 2 weeks, and you know, didn't bother doing it. And then I'd go back into it and really feel like doing it.
Yeah, it comes down to having the right tool, make a big difference. You know, like I have like no tool whatsoever. When I watch a video, I'm just like, I don't want to have stuff to do. You know, I mean, if your video was about gluing, if it was all about gluing pieces together, I'm like all set. I got the glue, but you know, when it comes down to like cutting, screwing, I'm like, I don't want to have a power tool to do any kind of drilling. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like out of my league.
Lose a limb, right?
It is. It's just you know, it's just something that I was never good at. You know, it's just whatever. That was one skill that kind of escaped me in my youth.
Yeah, you know, with me, I just kind of learned as I went with everything, like around my house, just fixing stuff. I didn't know any of that stuff when I was young. I didn't know plumbing. I didn't know any of that stuff. And it's either you pay somebody $400 to do it, or you figure out how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You make a bunch of mistakes along the way, but you eventually learn how to do it, and then your kids think you're real smart.
Now, as far as let's go back to comic book. Now, did you ever submit books to CGC? I'm guessing you have never done that. You just buy one book. Oh, one. Which book was it? The
Green River Pedigree one I found. You saw that video, right?
Yeah. Now you mentioned, I'm like, okay. Now, would you consider ever submitting any more books?
If I was going to sell, I probably would.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's always wise to submit the higher grade Silver Age stuff, right? It's easier to sell. I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, a lot of people that dislike slabs always ask me like, when would I do it? I'm just like, if I have a high grade, by high grade I mean like, you know, say 8.5 or 9.0. If it's keys, if it's a key books, even mid grade, I don't care if it's 7 point. Heck, if it's a hook 1, I don't care if it's 2.0. I'm gonna slap that thing because it's a lot easier to sell a 2.0 slab than to try to defend the grade to anybody, right?
Yeah.
You know, a 2.0 could be like really ratty with big spine split or detached cover, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't want to sit there and try to convince a buyer this is a 2.0. You know, slap it and then let other people deal with it. But yeah, it's
well, the strange thing with me is I don't slab books, but that's almost all I buy.
Well, you know, some people feel comfortable buying graded books. That's the market is so busy, you know, with the slab books, and because a lot of people, you're not alone. There's a lot of Silver Age collectors that focus on slabs only because they don't want to deal with restoration. I buy a lot of raw books, and sure, I had to deal with a lot of restoration. I had to return a lot of books. It's painful, you know, it's painful to do it, but it's one of those things where, you know, you either willing to deal with the hassle or you buy the slab. And I don't mind the hassle, but trust me, seem like at least 1 out of 10 books I buy, I need to return because of restoration, you know.
Really?
At least 1 out of 10, especially Silver Age.
Yeah.
You know, it's I see so many color touch, you know, so many.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I went to CGC or slab books, even PTX I bought. But I'm not real confident as far as trimming. I know trimming's kind of hard to detect if it's done real good.
Yeah.
Color touch, if it's amateur, it's obviously it's really easy to pick it up. But I don't know how you want to categorize me, you know, old style collector or whatever, but like I don't slab, I don't press, I don't want anything restored, I don't want any of that stuff. Now I know I've got some of my collection because I've unslabbed CGC books and they were pressed, and it wasn't a very good press job. It was all wavy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just thinking this book had to be pressed. I don't know, you know, not necessarily by them, but I think somebody did it. It was a 9.0, but it's funny because when I took it out of the slab, I said, oh, it's a little wavy here, which really doesn't make sense with the rest of the book. And it doesn't look like it's not a water stain. It's not, you know, there's no discoloration around it or anything.
Yeah.
And after I made the video, that was probably a bad press job.
Yeah, you know, trimming is definitely not easy to spot. Same thing with color touch. You know, color touch, some are very obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some are not. And, you know, it just takes a lot of trained looking to spot color touch. You know, I mean, like for me, you know, I don't use the black light stuff. I just use a big magnifier. You know, I have like 3 different big loops that I use. I try to shoot a video showing how to spot a color touch using a magnifier, but I can't do it. The way the camera angle is and the way my eyes and the way the loop is, unless someone else is shooting the video while I am holding the loops and on the books, it's out of focus. I couldn't do it. I tried so many times because I want to show people how I do it and how I can spot it. But if I do it with even on a tripod for something, there's a weird reason why I just can't focus and get clarity on the spot. And but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at you know, spotting color touch, but trimming, I'm decent if it's on if a book is trimmed on the top, the bottom, I find it pretty easy to spot.
Okay.
Even on the right side. The only time where I think it's almost impossible to spot is if they just trim the cover. Okay, if they trim the entire book, like slice it right through the edges, easy peasy, okay, to spot. We all know most Silver Age book have the overhang, right?
Yep.
So if you see a Silver Age book that have like no overhang, that's scary. Okay, that anytime we see a Silver Age book with like not even a hint of an overhang, it smells. Okay, it smells.
Yeah.
And then on the right side, as I have demonstrated many times before, if you look at because the way book was put together in the 60s, right? If you have like a stack of paper like this, right? And the machine folded like this before the staple, right? There is, let me go into my full view. Once it's folded like this, okay, the edges are never perfect. Okay, so if you see a right edge of the book that is completely perfect, like completely straight, that's trouble. Okay, that's smell. Unless it's a square bound book. If you look at Silver Surfer 1 or any square bound books, that's the only time where the right edge should be flush, straight. Otherwise, any other Silver Age book that have that kind of flush, straight is smelly. Okay, I see that and I'm just like, I don't like that. I'm not saying that it's 100% trim, but that's how I do my best in checking for trimming. And so yeah, I mean, it's restoration is tough, and even CGC make mistakes all the time.
Well, you were probably on the boards when that micro trimming thing was going on, right?
That happened right after when I came on the board in 2008.
Okay.
So by then, that whole scam was exposed, and Tiger Shark or whatever his name was was exposed, and but yeah, I mean, I remember reading those threads in the forum and seeing all the discussion, and it's not easy. It's not easy to spot trim if the person that trimmed the book only trimmed the cover. Okay,
I think that's what he was doing, right?
Yeah, he trimmed just the cover, and unless you have scan, unless the grader somehow gets scans of the book before and after, if you slice off 1/16 of an inch on the right edge of the books to remove one little thumb crease, there is no way to tell. There's no way. There is no machine that will look at the edge of the cover and say, this edge was cut just recently and not 50 years ago.
If anybody that's watching doesn't know what that is, there was a big thing in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, it was like 2000 to 2002.
Yeah, somebody was micro trimming books. They were cutting just a teensy bit off the edges and submitting them, and CGC wasn't detecting it, and eventually they caught up to them, I guess, right?
Yeah, eventually, I don't think they. I try to remember how he was caught. I think he was read out.
Oh, really?
I think he was either read out or I think one of his co-conspirators read him out. I could be wrong. It's been 4 or 5 years since or even longer since I read those threads, but it was not CGC graded that found the trail.
I think that would be a good way if one of his buddies ratted him out. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I think someone ratted him out, and then CGC was made aware of what he was doing, and then they start to track down all the books that he sent in, and then they sent out a big global warning to say, if you bought these books with these slab numbers, these certificates, these belong to this guy, and he had trimmed the book, blah blah blah. But I think that's what happened. I could be wrong, but for those that follow I don't follow the CGC message board that closely anymore in the past 3 or 4 years, so I'm kind of out of the loop.
Well, if anybody wants some good reading, go Google that, and you can get to the thread. It'll probably take you right to the thread, and there's a couple days worth of reading there. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to go ahead?
Nate is here. The comic preacher is here.
Hey.
He saw your shelf. Dan asked, what is the variance in dimension of untrimmed books? good question, Dan. And the sad truth is, no comic books are created completely exactly the same. So it's almost impossible to take. I done a video before, Dan, where I showed 3 copies of the same books. Okay, I have like a Spider-Man 51. Okay, I have 3 or 4 copies of that book, and I line them all up. And all 4 books was at different heights, and all 4 books have slightly different width. It's not, and none of them was trimmed. They all 4 had overhang. All 4 right side was not trim. They all had that V-shaped thing. So, you know, the way comic books were produced in the 60s and even 70s, the quality control was so poor. You know, they didn't give a shit. You know, they didn't give a shit. They didn't recalibrate the machine perfectly after every run, right? They just like slap it through, send it through. We don't care about the centering. They just throw the shit together. And that's why you get so many misprint, poorly center, poorly cut books, because it was a low profit margin stuff. Disposable stuff.
I have a Captain America 105 that on the inside, like when you open the cover up, along both of the staples, there's chunks of another cover. So it must have had a double cover, and they went, "Oh, look, there's 2 covers," and just ripped the one off.
Yeah.
You know, the inside one or something. But it's really weird. It's because it's on the inside. And I do have some that have 4 staples. I have a lot that came with 4 staples in them. You know, the inner piece was, the pages were bound together, stapled together, and then must have missed. And they came back and slapped the cover on it, so there's 2 staples holding the cover on. I
hated those books. I have a lot of those too, because, you know, CGC was slapped on, you know, restore on that book, you know.
Really?
But yeah, because there's a lot of things that CGC do because they can't. You know, you and I know that, you know, many of those 4 staple book is, you know, when the book go through production, the cover's missing because the previous book got a double covers, right? You know, most likely the previous book got a double covers, and somehow this one missed the cover. So instead of tossing the production error into the garbage, they sent those books back into production line in order to put the cover. But CGC stand is that there's no way to tell that's what happened, even though that's most likely happened. The other scenario is somebody found a book without the cover, or the cover was in bad shape and decided to take a cover from a better copy and staple them together. But I'm just like, if that's the case, why is the staple so perfect? Like perfectly matched. Like that's there's a lot of things that CGC would do. I'm just like, I know your reasoning, but it's half-ass. You know, it's not an easy thing for anyone to put a staple on and find a staple that would match the same kind of staple. You know, it can be done, sure. Can it be done? Sure. But at the same time, I think the likelihood of a collector doing that is slim to none.
If I did, I wouldn't do it to a Captain America 105.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, I think that's what I had a book with that double staple thing, and it was not 105 but 109.
Okay. I think my 109 does too.
Yeah, because it's the one where it's the white cover with Captain America. Yeah, I have that. Yeah.
Watch this. No, watch this. What did you say, 109?
Yeah.
4 staples.
Yep, yeah. I have one too. I have a copy that's just like that.
And you know, for some reason I thought they were on the outside, but it must be like I just said, the body stapled together and then a cover put on over top.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm supposed to throw these out now, right?
No, you can keep them.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right there. There's a staple.
Yep.
And one for the book for the covers down here. And it's here's overhang. I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see this, but maybe this way. You can see where the inside pages are one level, and then the covers overhang, and that's on the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's a rare bottom overhang.
Yeah, usually it's the top, right?
Yeah, but I have seen it. I have a few books that have the bottom overhang as well. But yeah, I mean, it's very rare to see a silver. Well, I wouldn't say rare, but it's more common to see Silver Age book with overhang.
This one has it on both.
Yeah, I mean that's even more rare.
Cool.
That's an oddity to see Silver Age books that have overhang on both front, top, and bottom.
Yeah.
Well, I just look at the time. It's 8:08. The 1 hour just went by so fast, Cougar. And looked like Jay could not make it today. We could not discuss the Flash cartoon. So, anything else you want to talk about before I have to go?
No. I just thought that you were very informative the other day. I really, I wish I could have been on there to ask you other questions about stuff as it was ongoing. You know, I can't really rehash the whole thing, but I thought it was really good.
Thank you. Well, feel free to ask me any question next week. If you want to come back to the next chat next Wednesday, I'll be here, and I will send the invitation again. And you know, like I said, I don't know everything, so but ask away.
Got it.
I try not to claim to be the smart ass know-it-all.
Well, I think you got kind of a rep the other day.
Well, it was.
You know, it's good because it's you have some inside information that other people don't know. You know, you've been in contact with people in the industry and being that close to those things. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still
here.
here.
Okay. Dropped out. Okay.
It's definitely has been a big benefit for me to live so close to CGC and have a chance to know those guys and met them and have lunch and dinner with them and hang out at their houses, you know. So
you know what? One thing I did want to ask you. You want to look at a book for me?
Sure.
Okay, I got a Spider-Man 28, Amazing Spider-Man 28. That's so nice that I think it's probably had something done to it.
Oh, do you have take a scan of it? Do a video? You know, I mean.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could send it to you.
Yeah. You know, because it's hard for me. I mean, if you want to take a scan of it, certainly, if you want to shoot a short video, because if that book, you know, I'm guessing that you worried that there might be some color touch.
Yeah, that, and I don't know. Could you tell if it's been cleaned or not? Covered?
Possibly. You know, I know of many techniques that people would do to clean the cover, so I can take a look at the cover and see if it has been cleaned. But that wouldn't be a problem as far as restoration, because there's no way to tell. Well, there's a lot of people clean covers now to make it brighter or to make it less dirty, you know. So and CGC only ding it if it's remove ink, you know, like sometimes people use an eraser and too harsh on that. But overall, you know, it shouldn't be a big deal. But you know, if you want me to check for restoration, I can do that.
Want me to send it to you?
Yeah, if you want to, I can shoot you my address privately, and I'd be happy to do that. You know, it's not the first time that I do that for people, but yeah, mail me it and I can check if you want to. If not, you can always shoot a video. I'm pretty good at looking at books from a video or scan and spot restorations, especially like color touch. As far as the rest, trimming, I almost need to see it in hands, because you know I trust my skill more if I see it in hands. And yeah, but go ahead. I will shoot you my mailing address, and then if you want to mail to me, I will examine the book and then mail it back to you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, I had to go. Wish I had caught this chat live earlier, Nate. You can watch the rewind. We were talking for quite some time, over an hour. It's been fun. We will do it again next Wednesday. Now that Cougar and I has figured out how to get it on. All right.
Get on the chat too.
Yes. Well, Nate, you should be on. Nate is in California.
Oh.
So I'm not sure what kind of work he's doing to be able to appear live in person, but one of these days, Nate, you're welcome to, anybody is welcome. Okay, well, I say goodbye to Dan. Hopefully Dan and Cougar can get together since you guys live near, in the same area, I'm guessing.
Yeah, shoot me a PM, Dan.
And then AG Surfer, thank you for jumping in. Other than that, good night. Time to go watch some TV.
Take it easy, Nick.
Bye.